Hey everyone, my name is James and welcome to my YouTube channel. There are certain trends in fashion that I've noticed over the years that start off well, but then quickly just go too far and become absolutely awful. In today's video, I want to show you a few of these examples and let's see where they went wrong. Now I do just want to say that this video is made entirely for entertainment purposes. Please do not be offended if you still wear any of these. And by the way, I've taken part in most of these trends that I'm going to talk about, so if anything, I'm laughing at myself. And I'm sure that things I'm wearing today are going to be laughable in the future, or maybe even today. So feel free to make a video making fun of me. Okay, first up on the list, and it's got to be Longline Clothing. And as I said, I'm going in on myself here. I used to be one of the worst offenders when it came to Longline Clothing. If any of you were around when I first started off my channel many years ago, I used to show off and wear Longline Clothing all the time. And I still think the idea of Longline Clothing is fine. It creates a nice longer base layer over which you can create more layers. And I still like that layered look, especially when it comes to autumn winter. But I feel like once it became mainstream, it just got a little bit out of hand. The tops kept getting longer and longer, and it gets past a certain point on your leg where it just starts to look a little bit silly. The proportions start to get a little bit weird, especially when the longline t-shirts were slimmer fitting with shorter sleeves. They were getting to a point where they were essentially just becoming dresses, which is not a bad thing at all, but I think most people weren't wearing them as a dress. They were still trying to wear them as a t-shirt. It's almost like brands and stores were saying, how long can we go before it looks ridiculous? And they went straight up to that point. So longline t-shirts or clothing in general, I think is a trend that went way too far. Okay, next up is going to be ripped or distressed clothing. Again, I'm guilty of this. I wore a lot of ripped jeans back in the day. And I can see the appeal of ripped or distressed clothing. It sort of gives you that grungy, worn-in look. Sometimes really crisp clothing is just not what you want. But once a lot of stores started catching on to the trend, they sort of took it in a bad direction. It started off as small, subtle rips, which still looks quite good today. However, then you started to see stores selling literal trashed pieces of clothing that it looks like they found in the bin. Another direction I saw stores going was that rips were becoming a bit too perfect. Like you were seeing some tops where the rip wasn't even a rip. It was like they sliced it with a scalpel. It was such a perfect cut. And it just goes in the complete opposite direction of the grungy look, which was the initial intention. I remember one of my friends saying to me, earn your rips, and I couldn't agree more these days. Or I think another good avenue is to go vintage. You'll get beautifully natural distressed clothing which just cannot be replicated in a manufacturing facility. Okay, the next trend I think went too far are spray-on skinny jeans. Now I'm all for skinny or slimmer fitting jeans because I think it's a timeless classic look. But the spray-on skinny is something which I never took part in and I think was just a trend on the skinny silhouette which went way too far. When I say spray-on skinny, I mean those jeans which were literally like tights. Even though I've jumped on a lot of trends in the past, this is one which I just never went in for. I just never thought it looked good. It always looked weirdly out of proportion, especially when people were wearing spray-on skinny jeans with chunky sneakers. Just like how the longline tee became a dress, but people were still wearing it as a t-shirt, I think the spray-on skinny jean became tights. People were still trying to wear them as jeans. As I said, I still wear skinny jeans even to this day, but I really do draw the line when you can start to see someone's thigh muscle bulging out of their jeans. Okay, trend number 4, and we're going to be sticking with the bottoms, and this is something which I think is happening right in front of our eyes as we speak today, and it's ridiculously baggy trousers. So the complete opposite of the spray-on skinny jeans, I'm starting to see a trend of people wearing more and more baggy trousers. Now baggy jeans are nothing new for me. I used to wear them a lot when I used to skateboard. Shout out if you used to wear Bernies. And I'm definitely rediscovering the baggy jeans at the moment. I'm on a bit of a baggy journey. I'm starting to see people just take it a little bit too far again. I think the whole point of the baggy look is to give off a relaxed and comfortable vibe. But the way I see some people go with it, it just starts to look uncomfortable and not functional at all. It's like, how baggy can we go just for the sake of it? And that's kind of something which I think is actually important in fashion, is that it should be functional. It should be something that you can wear day to day. So when I talk about bagginess, I'm not just talking about length, but like the width. People are getting so wide with their trousers. And yeah, I reckon wide trousers can look great to an extent, but it always hits this threshold where it just becomes out of proportion and just starts to look a little bit silly in my opinion. So mega baggy wide trousers, throw them in the trash. And my final trend that went too far, and still is going too far, is random numbers and phrases on clothing. The amount of times I've seen a perfectly nice piece of clothing only to turn it over and it's got some obnoxious big meaningless number on it, or like a little motto on the sleeve. Why? I can understand if it's the brand's slogan, like Nike, just do it, and it's just one phrase that they use consistently. But I've seen so many clothes where there's a random phrase or number added which is completely unrelated to the brand. And I think it just spoils the piece of clothing. It probably adds more cost for the brand to embroider or screen print that on, and it just puts me off the piece entirely. So what do you all reckon? Do you reckon these trends went too far, or is it just me being a grumpy old man? Also, let me know if there are any others that I've missed. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next week.